Hi team, today we are going to discuss about the table. So tables are the essential building blocks of the relational database. All the data in DB2 is logically stored in a tabular format. In a well-designed database, like each table or row contains the data about the specific entries and table consists of rows and column. Each row contains data about one entry or we called as one employee name, department name and etc. Let's take one example. When a table is defined, it is given a name and name must be a unique within the database. This is important. You already know what is a table. So takes one example. Here each column is set up to hold a specific data type and length. For example, in this employee table defined above, the employee name, employee number column will hold the characters data like D11 and A273. Next is the first name. So name is defined here, Tom and Julie. Next is the hire date. So hire date column will hold a calendar data. So first January 2009, it is the calendar data, and in last column we have a salary information. So salary column will hold a decimal numeric value like 75,000 and all. So DB2 insert that data enter into each column matches the column data type. So now we are going to discuss about the primary key. So primary key is a column or a set of column in a table whose values is uniquely identified and only one row in the table. While primary key are not required in a DB2 for GIS, but it's highly recommended that every table has unique primary key and only one primary key. So let's take one example. This is the employee table. In employee table, we have an employee number, first name, last name, and department and all. So in employee number column, this column would be the better choice because every employee would have a unique employee number. So employee number would identified one and only one row in this table. So we called as a primary key of this table. So our next topic is referential integrity. So referential integrity is a parent-child relationship between two tables in established using the foreign key and the primary key. So here foreign key in a employee table and primary key in a department table. Which refers the primary key in the parent table, and because of this the relationship is called as the referential integrity. Let's take one example. An employee who worked in the department HR5 cannot be entered into the employee table. Why? Because if there is a no correspondence entry in a department, so here in department we have HR1 AC8, HR1, AC8, but there is no entry of HR5. So differential integrity, or in short we called as RI, is enforced of the parent and child relationship, which ensure that it's a constant data in the table. So let's discuss how to interact with the DB2. So as a system administrator, we need to set up, configure and monitor the DB2 environment. We can access DB2 into our different categories like SQL, commands and utilities. If we talk about the SQL, so SQL is the structured query language and SQL is a specialized programming language used to access the DB2 object and the data. Next is the command. So command are used to issue the instruction directly to the DB2 environment. And last one is the utility. So utility are always executed in the batch job in a GOS. So utilities are a programs which perform a various maintain operation on the DB2 object. So our last topic is accessing the table. How we access the table. So user generally will need to access the data that is stored in the database and table. One way of accessing the data is called table scan access and other way is index access. So here this is the employee table and index is a quick way to accessing the data. That's all for today. Thank you all. Please like, share and subscribe this channel.